Now, I have made a discussion video on the state of aquatics and when I think the aquatics will be coming to Path of Titans in the future, but that begs the question, what about the flyers? When do I think the pterosaurs and the flyers and the gliders will be coming to Path of Titans in the future? We know they are coming, but the real question is, when will flyers actually come to the game, and do we have any discussion points about these creatures in the game? Of course, like I said, this is just a theory video, so please do not take my discussion points as official information. I'll be adding some information about from the dev Q&A, so you could take those answers, but do not take my analysis as official information either. So like I said, this is not 100% official, so bear in mind for that. But other than that, if you do enjoy these discussion and theory videos and you want to check out more, feel free to check out my one on semi-aquatics and aquatics and the other ones that I'll probably have on the screen now or in the description. But other than that, if you do enjoy these videos, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and of course join my Discord server as well. But other than that, let's get right into this brand new video. Now, some of you will be curious as to what the flyers are that are coming in Path of Titans. This may be people who are not really paying attention to the flyers that are coming to the game, or not really paying attention to the stretch goals for the game. So I'm going to be going over as first the flyers and what they are and when they're coming to the game, and then I'll be going over the other points that I have. We have 3 pterosaurs and 1 gliding dinosaur, so 3 flyers and 1 glider. Now I'll go over these when I briefly mention their gameplay style as well. So firstly, we have Microraptor. This is the smallest out of them all. This is a simple glider, being able to go from tree to tree with relative ease, and will be something that will be rather easy to target and might be rather easy to play, but this could be very specialized. Hatzegopteryx is a huge pterosaur. This is going to be the apex of the skies in Path of Titans. I'm pretty sure this could hunt baby dinosaurs or effectively hunt dinosaurs in general. Like I said, the apex of the pterosaurs, but of course isn't that agile. Phalassodromius is agile, however, compared to Hatzegopteryx. This is a similar size pterosaur to Pteranodon and will be more adept to scavenging, but I also think it could be able to fish and be more adept at bullying the larger Hatzegopteryx in its gameplay style. And it also could bully small pterosaurs and dinosaurs as well if you are in a group of Phalassodromiuses. Finally, we have Rhamphorhynchus, a very small tiny little pterosaur as well. This will probably be one of the smaller scavenger or bug or fish eater creatures in the game. I feel this will be a gameplay style that is more relaxed more than anything compared to any other pterosaur, and that pretty much maps out what the pterosaurs are in Path of Titans. Now let me know what you think about these pterosaurs. Which one is your favorite out of these pterosaurs? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I am excited for Phalassodromius more or less, and Rhamphorhynchus as well. But yeah, what do you think of the pterosaurs in the game? Now, I see a lot of people who think that we could see pterosaurs this year coming to the game, if anything. And well, I think that this is something that is too much of a stretch in terms of a general sense. I feel like they're pushing a little bit too much in the sense of that I don't think these will be coming this year, and there's more important things that will be focused on this year compared to pterosaurs. But why do I think this? Well, the devs have said a couple times in their Q&A, mainly in their Q&A actually, which I will be going over in the next part, but to shorten things down, it is too early and they don't have, it's too early to talk about pterosaurs from what they've said, and that answer makes me very unlikely to think that pterosaurs are coming this year, at the back end of this year, if anything. And I don't think, like I said, they will be. Now, I feel like flyers also need a new gameplay style for them. They are not dinosaurs and, of course, need to have a lot of focus on them if they were to come out, and this will take a long time. The first dinosaur took a lot longer than the second dinosaur, and vice versa, and carrying on from there. So the first pterosaur, the first aquatic, will take a while, and vice versa, and the second ones will go from there. So, we already know that the devs are focusing on this year. We know what they're focusing on with growth, food, quests. That's what they're focusing on. Pre-release, closing gameplay loops. That is what they are focusing on. And getting the dinosaurs done, if anything. They want to work towards fully releasing this game before they worry about stretch goal creatures that provide new gameplay mechanics to the game. So the question is, of course, will the pterosaurs be coming this year? Will they be coming this year? Something you can't exactly say yes or no on because the devs are very secretive. But in my opinion, I don't think there will be. I personally don't think flyers or aquatics will be coming this year. I feel like the devs have other core priorities when it comes to this. And in the next part, I will mention the dev Q&A, which kind of gives us a hint as to when we could expect pterosaurs to even come to the game and how far they are out for us. Now, this is one thing that I do want to touch up about, and this is the developer Q&A. Now, of course, you had some very interesting information that came out of this. Now, if you want to check this out, I recommend you go and watch the actual full Q&A that the devs done. But if you want a short 15-minute video going over the dev Q&A, you can check out my video that is on the screen now. Both of them will be in the description below, so you can go check them both out. But what I'm going to be going over, I'm going to be going over the questions that I feel are necessary, and then just going over and analysing them from there. So firstly, the first question we have: how long do you think flies and gliders will take to implement? Now, their reply, shortened down, is, now the answer to this is rather simple. Never been added before. Flies have never been added before. And with making a dinosaur, they can time how long it takes. But when they made the first dinosaur, it was a lot more different, and it was a lot harder to do. With a flyer, it will be longer. It will take more to implement the first compared to the second. So, of course, as the devs have never made a flyer before and made it for a game, it will be rather hard for them to get it in very soon, if anything. For example, the first dinosaur was hard to make, but after that it gets a lot easier, and now they can pump out a dinosaur fairly quickly. Of course, in my opinion, I think the flyers will be released in a batch, because if you just get one flyer, it could get a little bit stale a little bit quickly. Or they'll do flyer, 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 get them all out, but in consecutive 2-week gap. Then that would give you something fun to play over the course of the time, which could be more likely and give them more time to develop them in general. The next question is to do with how they think flies will, suggesting a gameplay style that flies will be able to feed out of the mouths of other creatures. Now, the devs do say it's a very cool idea, however they feel it's too early about how flies will be implemented to talk about how they'll be implemented in general. This answer to me kind of indicates that we won't be seeing them anytime soon. It's too early to discuss when flyers will be implemented to the game, because like the devs say, it's too early for them to talk about flies in general, and if it's too early to talk about flies in general, they probably won't be coming anytime soon. Now, this final question, I feel like it's not to do with flies, but it ties in. This is about aquatics, and someone asked, how will waterbound and fully aquatics move between bodies of water? And all you need to know for this is that the devs say fully aquatic creatures will be explicitly released after the game is fully released. Now, this could be the same case for flies, even though flies are probably easier to implement. Of course, you need to think about they have to do core gameplay styles and new gameplay styles in general for this group, as same as the aquatics as well. So I feel like flyers will be coming after the game releases, so perhaps it will be coming sometime next year in any sense or form. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think flyers will come before aquatics, or do you think they'll come, you know, in the future or after the game releases or before the game releases? Now, this final part of this video is about flies before aquatics. Now, I've recently done a poll on the community tab on my channel, and if you do want to take part in these, I do them fairly recently and fairly often, so you can definitely check these out in the future. Now, I asked if flies would come before aquatics, or what everyone thought would come before what, and everybody thought, well, 56% of all the votes thought that the aquatics will be coming first. And personally, after the questions and answers video that they done, the Q&A, I think they're wrong. Tying into the last question that we left off of from the developer Q&A, the devs said fully aquatic creatures will be explicitly released after the game is fully released. They won't be designing a map with flies and aquatics in mind right now after the game is fully released. Pandora will not have fully aquatics in mind, so they'll be locked from it. And that is in response to the question of how will waterbound / fully aquatic move from bodies of water. Now, to me, they obviously said that flies and aquatics, they need to have a map in mind for that, and Pandora is not going to be developed for aquatics. Now, this means aquatics will not be coming anytime soon, because they're not going to change Pandora for that. Flies, however, there's not much changes that need to be made for a map, especially Pandora. You've got space to fly, and you've got space to nest in, you've got feeding grounds, you've got other stuff. It's mainly a case of making some flying waves, making some nesting areas, and making some new food items for the game. This is just similar to the Isles pteranodon. So I feel like it's probably likely that we could see flies first because they're easier to implement and are actually more friendly to be implemented in Pandora's current state for the game. And that's my opinion. Of course, personally, to me, I feel like flies will be coming before aquatics, and I say this in my aquatics video as well, but let me know in the comments down below what you think as well. Now, of course, before I outro this video, I always have to start or end it with my opinion. Now, I think flies will probably come after the main release of the game. I do not think flies will be coming this year like people suggest, but if flies do come sooner than we expect, I feel like they'll be coming the back end of 2022, if anything. That's when the pre-release is out, when the game's closer to being released, so that's what it will probably be like. Now, I feel like is something that the devs obviously need to work on, and they have their things that they want to work on first, like the game closing of the gameplay loops and other stuff like that. So I do feel like flies won't be coming anytime soon, especially if we still have the lingering of the 4 main dinosaurs that still aren't done, and we have the gameplay mechanics that are still not done, and the pre-release isn't here. Once we get growth, it's more likely that the flies will be coming, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know your opinion, but other than that, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.